Good morning. Good morning, everybody. The live stream doesn't still work on, I haven't found a solution on the data, so I'm going to be limited in my movements. Here I have a Wi-Fi connection here, so I hope it will stick here, so we can't go down to the lakeside. Still have to fix that issue. Thanks for the people who sent me some suggestions, but let's see, I need some technical help here. The suggestions are also still welcome and valid, in the sense that who knows what the solution is, you know. It's like when there's a major illness that nobody knows how to fix. Everybody can chime in and give their thoughts to fix a problem. So today we have wonderful readings, a famous line of scripture. I'm not sure if it's the first time it shows up, and it's in two texts today for us. It's in the text of the prophet Hosea, and it's in the Psalm. So we can take a look at it right now. And then there's an application of this in the gospel. So it's very clear what the major message is, and it's very Lent appropriate, where we are doing a thorough, in-depth checking of our spiritual health, like when you go for your checkup to your dentist or your doctor, or take your car to the mechanic for the regular review, and you are trying to figure out how everything is. And so in Lent, we have an amazing ability to hide our reality. Well, it probably varies from person to person. Some people will have a scrupulous thought and lack a great trust in God, whereas others will be very bland about life and not examine themselves at all. And that can happen to people at all stages along the path of spiritual growth. You know, spiritual life isn't just saying your little prayer and going to bed, and getting up in the morning, saying your little prayer and living your day, and that's it. Spiritual life is like the life of any human being, growing through different phases to maturity, and growing through trials and challenges, but always maturing. And so many times maybe we don't even realize that there's a huge field for growth. On the other hand, I think God takes care of that for a lot of people through the trials of life and the challenges of life and the blessings of life. Especially the blessings of life, God helps us to grow a lot as well. But through the trials of life, we often have to reevaluate how we are, where we are, what we're doing, and what are our values. And sometimes we can be in routines that look good, that feel good. We kind of fulfill a standard. But maybe then we're neglecting that it's about relationships, not just about a standard. And so we have this famous line today: "For it is love I desire, not sacrifice." A knowledge of God, that's a knowledge of the heart, to know God's heart. Knowledge of God. Not so much the ability to be able to write a book, a philosophical book about God, or a theological book, or a book of spirituality. To know God means to know Him, like family members know each other, spouses know each other, friends know each other. To know God, to know His thinking, to be intimate with God, to know God's heart, to know God's mind about you, to know God. So we have, obviously, in the biblical time with the custom of the temple, but also in our times with our own religious practice and using Bible studies and everything else, we have the challenge of doing certain routines that become just routines and that aren't living encounters with God. Reach up into the light of God like this tower here, this pillar. Maybe some academics would be interested to ask themselves, what came first, the psalm or the prophet Hosea's words? So in Hosea we read, "For it is love that I desire, not sacrifice, and knowledge of God rather than burnt offerings." And then in the psalm we have, well, it's actually using the line from Hosea, I just realized now. "It is mercy I desire, not sacrifice." It's using it as the responsorium. But actually there's also a verse in there. We're talking about Psalm 51, and I'm just reading it again now. And it says, "For you are pleased with sacrifices. Should I offer a burnt offering, you would not accept it. My sacrifice, O God, is a contrite spirit. A heart contrite and humbled, O God, you will not spurn." And we put that together with the gospel passage. It becomes very interesting because we have the Pharisee and the publican going up to the temple to pray. And the Pharisee comes explaining all the great things he does and how he gives tithes of his whole income, and he declares himself not greedy or dishonest or adulterous or a national and people betrayer like a tax collector. That he fasts twice a week. That's to be a sacrifice, to fast twice a week. Many people practice fasting during Lent and also at other times during the year for religious motives, not just for losing weight motives or for health motives, because sometimes the doctor says you just got to get rid of those extra pounds and kilos. But to fast for spiritual growth. In different areas we can fast. It's a very good practice in Lent. How's our fasting going, you know? What indulgences do we grant ourselves? Are we curtailing now so that we can put our joy and our trust in God and become closer to Him? But then we can't boast about it like the tax collector. If we boast about it, then it's a doing that's exhausted just in ourselves and our own satisfaction of being fasting. But the purpose of fasting is to open our heart for God. And then we have the publican coming in, the tax collector, and he stays at the back. He feels he doesn't even belong. He's a sinner. And he says, Lord, be merciful to me, a sinner. Oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I need your mercy, Lord. I need your kindness, your goodness. And we know also about mercy that we receive God's mercy by practicing mercy. And so many people need mercy. They have done terrible things. We have no idea about their education, about their ideological colonization by ideologies, about influences in their lives from which maybe we were protected, about a wasted childhood that wasn't properly directed by parents, properly educated, properly formed. We have no idea where they're coming from. To have mercy. And that's very difficult when the relationships are very close and very burdened. Painful relationships, very painful relationships. And to practice mercy is the path for us to receiving mercy, that we will be able to receive mercy. So maybe the scholars would like to study and see, did the prophet find out, did it write the line first, or was it in the psalm? And it really doesn't matter. What matters is that we live it. What good would we be knowing about the history of the Bible and the history of all the prophets if we don't live the message? That's what it's about. So that's a great call for today, to be merciful, so we can receive mercy. God bless you people. See you later, alligators. So because there's Wi-Fi here, I can transmit from here this morning. Let's see what happens if we get it fixed for tomorrow, where we'll be. Really want to get up on Mount Arbel and see the flowers because the ground is dry now. You can see a little bit of it here. See you later, alligators.